Okay, because it is time, we can start.
Okay,
Uh,
that's
I invite all the participants. Arnav is standard four.
yeah, yeah, going into four, yeah, right. Uh-huh.
Yes. Avnish is same six.
Hmm.
Mayur's son, matlab, Shaunak.
Sir,
Yeah, Shaunak is going into six.
Okay,
Venkatesh also is six, and once Vedant joins, he also will be six. So
okay,
most of
okay,
them are standard six except Arnav.
right. And these are going into sixth, are they?
Yeah, they're going into six now.
Okay, okay, that's very interesting. So, we'll take it nice and slow and get to wherever we get to. Now, one thing I will
Yeah.
request is, children, please turn on your cameras because if I, see your eyes and that gives me the energy to kind of have more fun. Uh, so that'll be great if you can turn your cameras on. The elders, it's optional, if you do, that's great. If not, that's fine too. But the children, it'll be good to see them. So, and Saish, you're saying, let's get going. Let's not wait for Vedant to.
Yes, let's get going. And
Okay.
yes, I wanted to introduce you to the crowd, all the kids. This is Lalit here, who is going to present to us. Lalit himself is an IITian, and he's developed this software. I have played with it. It has some interesting features, and you all of you already have used Scratch, so you are aware of programming. This is beyond that, and he has taken a lot of planes to develop this. And I guess his presentation to us will be very exciting. Over to you, Lalit.
Okay, thank you. And it's going to be not so much a presentation except for the first few minutes. After that, it's going to be like a challenge thing where you code along with me. And for that, have you guys installed Kojo yet on your machines?
yes, sir.
Do you have
Yes,
Kojo?
sir.
Do you have Kojo running on the side there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I
Yes,
have it. I'm looking at it
so
right
even
now.
I have it running.
Okay, great. So all of you, please have it running, and then as we do things, you do similar things there on Kojo, and at some point, if you get a feel for it, and maybe it's going too fast or whatever, and you just want to pay attention to me, that's fine. But even then, when I will be coding, you will be telling me what to code. I will not be coding on my own. You will be telling me what to code, and then I'll be coding whatever you guys tell me. So you have the option of both coding along or just telling me as we move along the challenges. Okay, the first few programs, please do code along because they're they are the starter point, and you'll get a feel for how to run things in Kojo, etc. Okay, so first few minutes, I'm going to just give you a very high level overview of what Kojo is about. So the bottom line is that with Kojo, we want all of you to learn these very essential skills that we are calling 21st century skills. So these are very, very important things for you to know during this day and time and for the coming times. And the most important amongst them are the following. You need to know about computation. What is computation? And you need to know that because this digital world that surrounds our physical world. So we have this physical earth, and we have kind of surrounded it with this digital cloud to provide us, services, entertainment, facilities, convenience, productivity, and so on and so forth. And this digital world, which is basically the internet and the cloud and all of that, the kind of life energy of this world is computation. And so it's very important for you to know about computation because computation is going to drive the progress in the world in the coming years and decades and so on. Then you need to know these different modes of thinking, critical thinking and creative thinking. These are the two important things. So you need to be able to do critical thinking and creative thinking. Okay, and then you need to learn these multiple dimensions of learning. As you learn things, you need to be familiar with these different aspects of learning, and get them into your process of learning. And these are learning with understanding, learning how to learn any new thing, and then learning with joy. As you learn things, you need to develop a habit of learning with joy. And finally, you should be able to combine multiple subjects to do interesting projects which are connected to the real world. That's a very important thing in this time, that each subject that you learn should not be an isolated silo where you learn math separately, you learn physics separately, you learn computers separately, you learn art separately. Should not be like that. You should be able to combine everything do good projects, and then connect them to the real world. So these are the skills that we want you to learn as you work with Kojo. And then how do you learn these skills in Kojo? Well, the basic motto in Kojo is play, create, and learn. So you play with computer programs, you create drawings, animations, games, simulations, smart circuits, robots, and so on and so forth. And then you learn all of these skills because you're doing all of this rich work, and you're getting constant practice, you're getting feedback, uh, and day in and day out, you're kind of applying yourself to do interesting things. So in this process, you learn the skills that we want you to learn. And Kojo itself is a combination of three components. Okay, the first component in Kojo is a very strong yet beginner friendly programming language. The programming language in Kojo is called Scala, and it has great support for all the essential ideas in programming and coding. And the core ideas these days and for the foreseeable future are modular programming, object oriented programming, functional programming, and concurrent programming. And Scala happens to be the only language in the world that has great support for all four, as far as I know. So as you learn computing and coding in Scala, your foundation for programming becomes very strong, and then it's easy for you to learn Python or JavaScript, or if you want to go to Java, or App Inventor, Thunkable, Scratch, all of these things. So, if your foundation is good, then you can easily apply it in along different dimensions. Then Kojo has a powerful but easy to use application, which we will be working with today and which you've installed on your computers. And it has modern features like syntax highlighting, code completion, interactive program manipulation, program tracing, history, and we'll see some of these today. So a powerful but friendly, yet friendly to use application which lets you play with coding. And then finally, Kojo brings together many rich areas for programming and creation. Okay, so I mean the language is very nice, the app and the environment is nice, but then the third piece, which is very important also, is these rich areas for programming. And these are the following: turtle graphics to begin with, then picture graphics for more advanced graphical things, and even for gaming, and we might see some of that today. And then of course you go deeper into gaming, and we do a lot of AI stuff also, that we started to do that. Maybe we will not do that today, but it's a very integral part of the Kojo project. And then you can do robotics also in Kojo, with a combination of Raspberry Pi and Arduino. You can start to build robots. So these are some of the rich areas that are available for programming within Kojo. And then you have then you have well designed learning material to help you learn all of these areas. So that's kind of the big picture of what Kojo is about. Now the agenda for today is for us to get very hands on, start very simple, and then see how far we can go, just have fun, learn a few ideas in programming, and move along. So is everyone ready? Are you ready to get going?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, how many of
Yes,
you
sir.
are there? So okay, I see five of you, huh? One, two, three, four, five. Okay, that's a good number. So Vedant, unfortunately has dropped off, and I don't know when he will be joining. That it's a very nice name, If Vedant is with you, then things things will go forward well. But we'll keep going, and hopefully he will join. Okay, so in the chat for the meeting, let me send you this link. Okay, so let me click here, and that'll open up something. Let me get that over here. That's some code that will help us or help you guys move forward. So I will copy the link and I will put it in the chat. You guys can pick it up for now, and even for later. You can just play with this. And so I put the link out there, and the sample code for the challenges is now available to you through that link. It's just a simple text file with different fragments of code. so
So could you just repeat? I just missed for 2 minutes.
Okay, sure. I've sent a link on the chat for the meeting, and that is a link to a file which has fragments of code for the challenges that we're going to do today. So just click on that link and open up that file, because as you play along with me, you can copy paste these fragments of code just to help you get going faster. And then even if I mean right inside this file we have around 10 challenges, so 7 drawings and 3 games, and we might not finish all of that today, but at least all of this sample code is available with you and you can play with it later. Okay, is that fine with everyone? Should we get going? Has everyone opened that file?
Yes, sir.
I've opened.
Okay.
Yes, sir, even I've opened it.
Okay, very good, very good. So now let us come to the first challenge. Okay, and for the first challenge we start with the most fundamental thing in Kojo, which is turtle graphics. And there, if we look at Kojo, we have a turtle sitting in the center of the screen, and we can give it commands and then it does whatever we ask it to do. So we are going to ask it to do the following, whatever is the code in the challenge. So
Sir?
Yes, beta.
Sir, I know one more software named Microsoft Windows logo that does the same turtle graphics, sir.
Okay, that's good. And
Sir, I've coded on Turtle before.
what, beta?
So I've coded on Turtle before all the
Okay,
lessons.
Yes, sir.
that's great. So hopefully you will find that with Kojo, the turtle has come into the 21st century. Lot of the other logo offerings are from 20, 30, 40 even years ago. So MS logo was around maybe even 30 years ago, possibly. I don't know how regularly they've been updating it. Uh, so in any case, you'll have the choice to compare. See what is there in MS logo and how it's presented in Kojo, and the different uh, ways that you can learn differently, maybe in MS logo and Kojo. So that's something for you to explore and think about. So here we're just gonna copy this code over into Kojo, and this is the first fragment from that challenges code file that I sent you guys. So that's that challenge one code, so you can just copy that over from there too if you want. Okay, and then we will run it here in Kojo and that will do whatever we have asked it to do in terms of the code. And now to understand what's happened here, we will even do something else. We will run this in tracing mode. Okay, so the tracing mode is the third button on this toolbar for the script editor. The first button just runs your code normally, regularly, and then we'll not worry about the second button. The third button runs the code in tracing mode, where then Kojo shows you exactly what the program is doing as it runs. Okay, so has everyone been able to run the program in tracing mode with the third button?
Yes. Sir, but I have a question.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Sir, aren't you supposed to enter the value of how much you are supposed to turn right in the bracket?
Right, so I mean you should be doing that, but here we see that if you don't, then Kojo seems to be taking some default value, right? And what do you think that value is? So think about what that value might be, and when we look deeper, yes,
90 degrees.
right. So if
So
you don't,
90 so 90
It's showing
degrees.
me an error. So it's showing me an error.
what is the error, beta?
So it's saying error 2,1 not found value forward and then arrow pointing to forward in brackets 100.
And you've copied and pasted the code.
Sir, I typed in the code.
Oh, then you made a spelling mistake, beta.
Forward. W.
है ना, अगर वो if you getting an error, you made a spelling mistake.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so now, so you fixed that? Did you identify your error and fix it?
Yes, sir, but I'm just removing the capital letters because that's causing it some issues.
Right, because it's like case sensitive. You got to do it in exactly the way it's supposed to be done. Okay,
Yes, sir, now it worked.
so everyone got the trace running with the third button.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now let's look at the trace window. We click on the first line on the trace window.
Yes, sir.
and we see that the line in the script editor where which corresponds to that instruction when the program ran is the first line in the script editor, which makes sense. So the first line in the script editor, so just to give you a higher level perspective on this, what's in the script editor is the program that you're running, and what is in the program trace is the step by step things that the program did as it ran. Okay, so the first thing it did was the clear, which was the first line of code. Then it did the forward, which was the second line of code. And here it's showing us that with that forward, this particular line was drawn. Okay, and then the third thing that it did was to go right. And here in the drawing canvas, it's showing us that through that right instruction or the right command, the turtle's nose, which was pointing upwards, is now pointing to the right via that right command. Okay, once we did the right command, before the command it was pointing up, then after the command was done running, it was pointing to the right. And then the next forward made that particular line. So now we are seeing that forward makes a line in which direction? So if I were to ask you, forward makes a line in which direction, what would you say?
So, in the direction in
The
which the
turtle
turtle's nose is pointing.
Absolutely. So, that's the nose is the key word there. So now whatever is the direction of the nose of the turtle, forward moves the turtle in that direction, and as it moves, it draws a line. And the right command changes the direction of the nose of the turtle. Okay. So with the turtle, there are two important things. Or in fact, right now, let's just consider the one important thing that we're talking about. So with the turtle, the one important thing is where is the nose of the turtle pointing, because that is the direction in which forward makes lines. And the right command helps us change the direction of the nose of the turtle. So through these two commands, forward and right, you can do pretty much anything that you want to draw with the turtle, because with the forward you just make lines, and then with the right you can move the nose around so that the next forward will make a line in a different direction. And then you can set it up appropriately to make shapes as complex as you want. Okay. So now is this program clear? How it's running, is that clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's great. So I will kill the trace window, and I told you that through forward and right you can make very complex programs. So let me just give you an example of that. Let me just show you some sample programs. So these are all done using forward and right. So you can see the complexity of the things that one can do. And the one really complex one here is this one, which goes to the other window. So let me not make it full screen, and then you can see how complex it is. And it's just
Yes,
made out of forward and right.
yes, sir, that's a fractal.
Yes, it's a fractal. It's the Mandelbrot set, and it's just made out of forward and right. So basically, using just these two very simple commands, and then using other ideas of how to put them together, you can make very, very interesting figures. Okay. So let's get rid of all of that. Let's clear that out. Okay. Now let's get to what our challenge is. So let me get the code back again. And here, to get the code back, I will just go back in history. With this blue arrow pointing to the left, I can go back in history to the programs that were run earlier. So for example, my history would have, for the last 5 years, whatever programs I've run in Kojo will all be in my history. So at any point I can go back to any program that I ran. So today we just want to go a few steps back to the first program that we were doing. So there we are. So okay, so we run it again, and we get to the first thing in the challenge once more. And so we see that when we run this program, this is the drawing that's supposed to be made, and that is indeed the drawing that has been made. So we are good on that count. And let me actually resize this a little so that we can see both things maybe at the same time. Okay, so that was supposed to be made, and that's the kind of thing that's been made, so we are good. Now the challenge is to make something like this. Okay, so you guys have to tell me.
I know what to do.
I'm sorry.
So I know what to do right now.
Okay, so can you tell me let me just fix this so that
So make something like what?
I will tell you in just a moment. Now, let me position this correctly. Okay, and let's zoom in here. Let's see how I can zoom in. Okay, so
Sir,
for the first challenge, that's what we want to make, right? That's the one.
sir, I
And
know what to do right now.
okay, so what should we do next?
So we have to, after clear, we
Yes.
should write repeat.
And beta, we can't do repeat yet because we've not talked about repeat. So we
Okay.
just got to go step by step, and we already
Okay.
have these four
So can
lines.
I tell it?
But then we copy the code we've made so far up till clear and then paste it.
Yes, we've done that. That's in my Kojo, right? And you can do that too, right? So you can copy it into your Kojo. So
Sir,
that
I
code.
made it
The same
already.
thing
The
I did.
square.
Yes, sir. So
Okay.
now my code also made a square.
Okay, so Venkatesh, that's great. So Venkatesh, why don't you, in fact, children, please open up your cameras, and whoever wants to tell me the next line to write, please raise your hand.
Sir, it's not Venkatesh, Arnav Moria. So Arnav.
Okay, so okay, the raised hands. I'm going to go with Sai Pranav first. Okay.
Sir, now I have to write forward and right again 2 times.
Okay, so let's do forward 100 and then right.
Right, and then just empty
Right.
brackets.
So
And
okay,
then
so
again forward 100 and empty right.
beta, that's good from you, Sai Pranav. So now let's move on to somebody else. Arnav, can you tell us what should we write to kind of do the challenge?
Sir, write forward 100 again and write with nothing in the bracket.
Okay, that's great. Awesome. Let's just make sure that it works fine. So it's worked exactly like we want, right? So that's good. We are done with the first challenge. Let's maximize this and get to uh, fit page
Sir, I
again.
made like a code to make a square. Like first it will make a square,
Uh-huh.
and then it will make another square down. Like
Okay, that's great. So self exploration is a very important part of learning with coding. So that's awesome. As you make things, if you explore, make other things related to what you made, that's always a great idea. Okay, let's move to challenge number 2. I will copy the code over. Control C and Control V. Okay, so we are there. So exactly what should show up has shown up. So we are good on that count. And now we want to make the challenge thingy. And for that, let me try to position it a little better. So let's see how that works out. So if I put this on the right here, okay, that's visible. Okay, so we have to make that. So now what should I do next? Right, so I already have 6 lines of code which are making something, and we started from here, we went like that, like that, like that. So we are here, right? We are at this point. So now what should we do to? Yes.
so, you should take a left turn and then go forward again.
Okay, let's try that. So we take a left and go forward. And how many steps should I go forward?
Sir, 50.
Okay. Okay, so did that work or what did that not work? So we went from here, that way. Now, have we gone here or have we gone the other way?
Sir, the other way. Sir, I think so. You should take a right, actually.
Okay, so now keep in mind that this right and left is as per the turtle, right? So if you have ever got to think about what do you mean by right in a particular context, just look at the turtle and look at its nose, and then that's the right hand, that's the left hand, right? So the right will always take you to the right hand and the left will take you to the left hand. Okay, so let's run that again. Okay, so let me ask Arnav, what's next?
Oops. Mistake. Yes, sir.
What is next, beta? So I think we are here in the drawing. What should we do next to continue to do the challenge?
Turn right, straight. Turn.
Okay, turn right and then do what?
Go straight. Turn left. Go straight.
And how do we go straight, beta?
By following the turtle's nose.
Right. What is the command for that?
50.
So should I just write 50? Is that the command?
No.
What should
It's
I?
forward bracket 50.
Correct. So the forward is the command, and then we have to tell it how many steps to go. Okay, and then you said left also, right? So left, and then you said forward again. Okay, and let's speed it up. Let's say set speed fast. Okay, so now we are somewhere. Now, who's gonna tell me the next step? And whoever's not interacted much till now, I would encourage them to tell me.
Sir,
So can I
in
say?
So
my
yeah, so
previous
Shaunak, yeah, why don't you go? Yeah, you've not. I don't remember you saying too much till now. So yeah, please tell me.
So now you have to take a left,
Okay,
go
so
forward for 50.
okay, so let's just run. So okay, one important thing is that as you're writing your programs, don't write too many lines before running them. Because then you're off uh, the reality of the situation. If you go ahead too much, then it's difficult to keep track in your mind that, okay, hey, what's my program doing, what is the actual output. So we've added 2 lines. Let's run it and see where we are. So does that look fine, or does that look like it's a little messed up? Shaunak, what do you think? Is it fine, or is
So
something?
it's a bit messed up.
So then what should we fix? Where did we go wrong? So if in doubt, just go back in history, right? And here, because we are so close to what happened, we can just do Control Z, right? So to undo. So let's see if it's here somewhere. So undo, every word processing editing program has Control Z or something like that as an undo. In Kojo, it's Control Z. So let's go back. Control Z, Z, Control Z. Okay, there we are, right? So, or we could have gone back in history also, but we just did the Control Z. So were we fine till now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let's go back in history to the place where we got messed up. So this one was fine, this one was messed up. We are seeing that from history. So now what could be the thing that went wrong? This one's fine, this one's
So
messed up.
it should have been right
This should have
instead
been
of
right.
left.
Right? Okay, let's try that. Okay, does that look better?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what next?
So now it should be
Okay, now it's a tough
right
one.
again.
Should it be right or should it be left? Now that's something to think about. Why don't all of you tell me? Should it be right or left? We have to go towards my left, right? Or towards
So I
your
think
left.
it's right.
Okay, so Shaunak is saying right. What about the other children? What do you think? Turtle should turn right or left?
So right.
Should turn right?
Yes,
sir,
sir.
right.
Yes, sir, right.
Okay, because yeah, like I said, we have to always look at the turtle's nose and his hands to figure out, right? So if we got to turn this way, then the right hand of the turtle is there. So then we, turn right. Okay, and then we do forward again. And it's all 50 steps here. Okay, so then did you get the hang of it? Yeah, now this is simple enough, right? We can keep going and make the challenge. Are we confident, or should we continue doing that and get it done? Or are we thinking, hey, now we know what to do, it's easy, so let's move
Sir,
on?
I'm first doing it on my screen and then telling you.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So now you tell me, kids, should we finish this off or should we move to the next challenge?
So we can finish this off. Sir, I've
Okay.
already finished it off on my area, and sir, I tried out a different type of pattern with the same type of code.
Okay, so that's a good thought. Let's finish it off. So what should I do next? Who will tell me?
Sir,
So left.
Okay, yeah, anyone can tell now. Okay, now we are in the groove of things. And then after that, we always do a forward, right? So after turning, we always do a forward. Okay, now what?
So now right.
sir, now right.
Then
Okay,
forward.
okay. What next?
So right.
Sir, right again.
Okay.
Left.
Then forward, then left, and then
Did somebody say then forward before the left?
yes, sir. Yeah.
So, after the forward, I mean, we never have two rights or lefts simultaneously in this figure. So then after the forward, somebody had said left, so I'm going to do that. And then what is the last step to do?
So
Forward
forward
50.
after
The four.
Now, are we done or is there something missing? So look at the challenge and look at where we are.
Sir, right again.
Okay,
Sir, again we
okay, that's good. Okay, so that was a minor point, but attention to detail is very important. So yeah, it's important to get even the small things right if we can. So now does it look fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we are done with the second challenge. Now let's move on to the next one. Okay, for the next one, here's the code, and now repeat has also come in. So let's see what we have here. Okay, so that uh, should be fine. Let me see where my scroll bar is. Well, okay, I mean I maximized it, and the square is what was expected, and that seems fine. Now we have to do the challenge, which is this figure here, and it says use hop to move the turtle without making a line. So we already made the square, right? So we already have this outer square. This one we already have, and now we have to make this inner square, and it tells us that we can use the hop command to move the turtle. And hop is very similar to forward. It moves the turtle in the direction of the nose. Only difference is that with hop no line is made. Okay, it just moves without making a line. So now what should I do to do the challenge? Here's the
Sir,
challenge figure. Yes.
sir hop and then you have to give some value.
Yes, how much should that be?
The hop 50.
Okay, hop 50, we can try that. Now keep in mind that from
Turn right, then so turn right 90 degrees, then again hop 50.
okay, let's do that. So turn right and then hop 50, and we said let's not go too far ahead. Let's first see where we are. Are we looking fine or is something messed up?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
I was just trying to say we have to make it hop 25, sir.
What do others think? What should be the hop amount?
Sir, hop
Sir,
30.
25.
Okay, some are saying 25. One Venkatesh is saying 30. So Venkatesh, why do you think it should be 30?
Sir, cause it will come a bit behind, like.
Can we calculate it? So we know that from here to here is 100. From here to here is 50. So then what should be the hop from here to get to that point?
Sir, 25.
Is that clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Venkatesh, is that clear?
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Right, so I mean, if we were to quickly use the whiteboard, we see that from here to here the outer line, that is 100, and this inner line which is centered on the outer line is 50. So then we know that from here to here plus from here to here, the sum of these two is 50, right? Because out of 100, 50 is already taken here. What remains is 50. So these two have to sum up to 50. And if we want them to be exactly the same, then we have to divide that 50 into 2. So then this would be 25 here and 25 here. Correct? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's see if that calculation is right. So that seems to be okay, right? So then what should I do next? What should I do
Next, you should move forward by 50, then turn left, then move forward by 50, then turn left, then move forward by 50, then turn left, then move forward by 50,
Okay.
and then
So
turn left times.
but what if I tell you that I want to do exactly the same here, same thing here to make the next square
Sir, you can
inside?
use a repeat, right?
Right. So
Repeat.
I've copied the repeat over from the top to the bottom here.
So
And-
just change it to left, right?
Uh, yes, we can do that. What should the forward be here? How much forward should I go for the next
So
square?
forward for 50.
Okay, and then you're saying change the right to a left.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that should do the trick, except that something's a little off, right? Or is there not? Is everything exactly right, or is something?
Sir, the turtle should be pointing forward.
Yeah, the turtle should be pointing up. So let me say, what if we leave this as right? Can we do something here after the hop so that it works with going to the right, just like the top square? So we made the first one like this, and how about if we make the second one also like this? Just going right. First one we did forward hundreds and then the rights, and then for this one we want to do the forward 50s and then the rights, and we want to do it in exactly the same way except for the length. So can I do something here that will enable that to happen?
Yes, sir.
What can I do there after the hop 25?
So you can turn right. I mean
Okay,
turn left.
right
I
or
mean,
left?
I meant left. Sorry, sir. I meant to say left.
Okay, let's try that. So now, does that look fine? Are we good?
Yes, sir.
It looks fine, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
great. So we're done with that challenge too. So now let's move on to the next one. Okay, now we see that more colors are starting to come in. Okay, so let's copy this over. Control C, take it back here. Control V, Control Shift F to format the code, and then we run it. And we see that what the given figure shows up fine, so we copied it over fine, and all of that's good. So now the challenge is to make this kind of figure. Okay, and this is a little tougher, so you have to think about what to do. So what can we do here to make the challenge figure? Okay, first let's try to understand what's going on here. Okay, so we clear the screen, we set the speed to medium, we can set it to fast also just to make it go a little faster, and we set pen thickness to 4. Okay, by default the pen thickness is 2, so here we are making the lines a little thicker, so we made this pen thickness 4, and then we are repeating 8 times, right? So can we count the lines here? How how many lines are here? How many lines can you see here in this figure that's currently there in Kojo?
Sir, 8.
8.
Right, so we have 8 lines, and there's a repeat 8, so that matches up, so every repeat must be making one of those lines, and let us see how it does that. So it's saying set pen color to random color. So for each of these lines, the color of the line is being set randomly.
So I know how to make this code proper, like
Okay,
the challenge.
that's good, but let's just go over the explanation and the discussion first, then I will throw it open as a challenge. So then the next thing is doing is going forward 100, right? So for example, the turtle from here goes forward 100, and then what is the next thing is doing after going forward 100? What is the next thing is doing? Can somebody tell me, looking at the code? After the forward 100, what is there? Anyone?
So hop minus 100.
And what does that do? So after we've taken the turtle forward, drawn the line, when we do hop minus 100, what do you think
So
that will?
it comes back to the starting area.
Right, 45.
So
Sir, it goes back for 100 blocks.
yes, it goes back exactly 100 steps to get back to exactly where it started from, and then we turn right 45 degrees, right? So then we are ready for the next line, right? Once we turn right by 45 degrees, we are ready for the next line. Then the repeat comes back, then the set pen color becomes random again, and then forward 100, hop minus 100, and so on. So is that clear to everyone how this program is making this given figure?
Yes, sir.
So now how do we do the challenge? What should we do?
So can I say? So I've already written the code of how to do the challenge.
Okay, that's great. Let's give somebody else also a chance. Is there anyone else who wants to take a crack at it? Anyone else?
So, could we change the angle, like the angle of the
Yes.
turn?
Yes. How much should we do it? Do make it?
So maybe 1 or 2 by
Okay,
1 or 2.
that's okay. That's a very interesting thought. So what do you tell me? One or two?
So 1.
Okay. So okay, some interesting things have started to happen. Then now what should we do next?
Sir,
So we can repeat the
so we can put like repeating right one.
Yes. So what should I change here? Which line should I go and change what?
So you should make the repeat into 360.
Okay, that's a very interesting thought. So let's try that. Why 360? What's special about 360?
So it's the number of degrees in a circle.
Okay,
Sir,
good,
it
good.
makes a circle. Yeah.
So
Okay,
basically 360, 360 of those one angle rights will make an entire circle.
okay, good thought. So let's try that. And it's going too slow, right? So let's make it super fast. Set speed.
Sir, I also tried out that code. It's working, but it's going.
Sir, I tried a different method of a code, sir. My code is slightly different from that.
Okay,
So that's
that's interesting. Can you tell us what you did? So okay, first let's just see what happened. So we made this super fast, right? So we set the speed to super fast. Then when we run it, it makes it instantaneously. So then that's we don't have to waste too much time waiting for it to make it. So everyone, please try to make this. And in the meantime, Sai Pranav, you made it through a different method.
Yes, sir.
What method did you use?
So basically what I did was I used a nested loop. I put the repeat 8 times loop into a loop of repeat 45 times.
Okay,
And after the repeat 8, you have to turn right by one angle.
okay. So inside this you put another loop.
No, sir. I
Or
put the repeat 8 into a repeat 45 loop.
I see. So repeat. What is 45 times 8?
So 45 times 8 is 365.
Okay, good. So,
36. Yeah, 3.
and then what did you do?
So then, just between the two brackets,
Yeah.
so these brackets at the end, I put turn right by 1 degree, and
Okay.
it's part of the repeat 45 loop.
Okay, so does that look right? What I have on my screen?
No, sir.
No. What's wrong? Which part is wrong?
So that right inside the repeat 8 loop has to be right by 45.
Right here.
Yes, sir, that.
Hmm.
And then inside the repeat 8 loop, after hop negative 100, it's repeat times 45.
Like that.
Yes, sir, that's what I did.
Sir, then mine is coming as a
Okay, so
different color.
uh, so let's do this one step at a time. So this looks like an interesting program. Let's run it first. Okay, let's see what it's doing. Okay, so this is very interesting because it's making it not right to left along a circle. It's it's doing that segment of 8, and then it's rotating it a little, then doing this exactly the same thing 8 times again, rotating it a little. So it's a very interesting way to do it. So that's great. Okay, is that clear to everyone how this thing is working?
Yes, sir.
Or it's like making a fan.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's going to make the same thing, right?
Yes.
Right. So this is a very interesting way to do it. Okay, good. And then somebody else was saying. Somebody else had some other idea. If
Also,
not,
sir, I have a question.
yes.
So how you? So I tried doing the super fast thing, so like how you did it,
Yeah.
but mine it was showing an error.
Okay, so just say SUP and press Control Space.
Sir, that is because super fast the F is capital.
Right. So and with Control Space, code completion will help you avoid spelling mistakes. So just write the initial letters of the command, then do Control Space, and then you're good. Then you can select the exact one that you want.
Oh yes, sir, it worked. So the
Sir,
code
I just tried making the pen thickness to 100.
That will be too much, right? If you make that 100, then it's gonna be not very clear what's going on because all the lines are on top of each other, right?
Yes, sir, I made the speed too fast, so it's like making one by one.
Yeah.
So I got another idea to make a even more cooler pattern.
Okay. What's the idea?
So basically, you put the repeat 45 into another repeat.
Okay. So let's see what this one is. So that's like that. So then we put that into another repeat. And how many times do we repeat that?
So that's how much ever you want.
Okay, so
And
I will start with 5, just to see what you're talking about.
yes.
Okay, then I'll take this.
And so I recommend using speed super fast or else it'll take forever to be done.
Right, then what do we do next? Anything else, or that's it?
No, sir. Now, between the two brackets, you
Yeah.
put forward 10 or something.
Forward or hop?
Forward.
Okay. Should we try that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's the interesting pattern shaping up. So let's make it 50 times. Let's see how that looks. So, one thing we can do is, because we are superimposing things on top of each other, this
Yes.
random color we can make it transparent. And how do we do that? We say random color dot FAD control space and then take the fade out. Okay. And you fade out by, let's say, factor of 0.5. You make it half transparent, and let's fade it even more. So let's make it 0.9. Let's make it very transparent. So now you can, through all the lines, you can see the lines behind. So that's an interesting pattern that comes up.
And also, sir, I have another idea. Just increase the forward 10 to a forward 100.
Okay, we can try that. And let me not do repeat 50. That's, let's just go with 10 to begin with. Okay, so now there's a different pattern that shows up. So that's a good set of thoughts. And as you write code and make patterns, this self exploration, like I said, is very, very important. So I'm very happy to see you guys, you know exploring, trying out new ideas, coming up with new and interesting patterns. So that's great to see. Now let us move on with our challenges, because we have a lot of ground to try to cover.
Sir, I
Yes.
made something same length.
Okay, that's great. That's great.
So not like this, but the previous challenge was there, right, sir? So like I tried making a ring, but it's like off screen, not in the screen a bit. That
If
is got.
if it goes off screen, you can drag it around. You can pan the drawing. Okay,
Okay, sir.
or you can zoom out, zoom in. Using the scroll wheel, you can zoom out, you can zoom in,
Sir,
etc.
like I made a big ring, sort of.
Okay, that's good. So that's very nice to see that you guys are exploring and trying out different things. Okay, so let's move on. I would suggest, because let us at least get to challenge number 7. Today.
Sir, actually, what does this drawing canvas mean, and what does arithmetic acrobatics mean?
Right. So the drawing canvas is the area where the turtle does his drawings. Okay, and the arithmetic aerobics is for younger children to practice addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Right. So we're not going into that today. This is very good for classes 1 and 2, for them to just gain practice with uh, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, etc. Okay, but we are focusing on the drawing canvas, because that's where the turtle does his drawings. Okay, so let's move on. Let me make this bigger for a moment. Okay, now we have come to something little more involved. In fact, this one slide introduces many new ideas in programming. So we see def, which is a keyword in Scala to do some stuff. We see val, we see var. So let's play with all of this. So I'm going to copy this code over, Control C, and uh, Control V, Control Shift F. Okay, let's increase the speed so we are good with bigger things. So FA, Control Space, take the fast. Okay, so we have the square like we wanted, and now we need to make this color strip. Okay, so in this strip, how many squares are there? Can somebody count and tell me?
Sir, four squares.
So in this strip, 1, 2, 3, 4,
Sir,
5,
18.
20, 23, 20.
18.
18 are there. Okay, so I'll go with 18. I don't remember if it's 18 or 20. Somebody's saying 18. That's fine. And we have to make these guys. And here is the suggested code. It says that try something like this. So let me copy this over. Then we will discuss all this stuff. So let me delete the square because we're going to make many of them. So let's go from the beginning. So the first thing that we see is def square. So what def allows you to do inside Kojo is to create your own commands. Okay. So when we say def square, we are saying that we are
Sir,
defining.
define.
Right, def is for define. So we are defining a new command called square, and this command will not take any inputs. We will not say square 10, square 20, etc. We will just say square, and then it will do the following. It will repeat 4 times, forward 100, right 90. So what is the size of the squares that this command is going to make? Can somebody tell me this command that we've defined called square? What is the
So
size?
square with the size of 100.
Right, so this is going to make squares of size 100. Okay, so has everyone understood what this is doing? This thing at the top, the def.
Yes, sir, we'll
Sir.
start doing it.
I'm sorry.
Sir, we'll start doing it.
Right, so and we will get to starting to run this very soon. But have you understood what the def is doing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's great.
Yes, sir.
So now we clear the screen. We set speed to fast. Okay, and now we are saying val n is equal to some question mark. So n, if you see, is a repeat count. How many times you want to repeat. So in this case, what should be the repeat count? If we want to make 18 squares, how many times should we repeat this thing to make 18 squares? So we're doing some repetition to make the squares, and we will get into the code inside the repeat just in a little moment. But what is your guess on how many times should we be repeating to make these 18 squares? What do you think? Anyone?
Sir, there's one problem.
What, beta?
That how will we get the val n code?
Yes, so that you have to type, because this is not in the challenges.txt. I can put it there, but you can also look at this and type it out, or you can just play with me, just play along with me, and I will put it in the challenges. You can get it from there later. For now, just discuss this with me. So what should be val n? What should we make n? And later on we want to repeat n times, and through the val we are just giving a name to a value. We can use any number. What number should be used? What do you think?
So 100.
And so we have to make 18 squares, right? So how many times should we repeat?
18.
Right, so it seems like a good guess that hey, let's repeat 18 times something, then maybe we will get this figure. So let's repeat 18 times. Now the second thing we have here is a var. Okay, not a val but a var, and I'm going to make this red. Okay, and for that I'm going to use the color maker. So inside Kojo there's a color maker, and you can write the whole thing also, color maker. Okay, or you can just write cm for the color maker. And then if you press dot and press control space, then lot of these functions to create colors come up, and about 150 colors, predefined colors come up. So we will use the red color. Through the color maker we will use the red color, and we will set the fill color to whatever is the CLR, and here CLR is red. Okay, so we set the fill color to red, then we make one square, and then how much should we hop before we make the next square?
So 100.
See, right, so whatever is the size of the square, we have to hop that much so that we come on top of the square we just made before we make the next square, right? So if we were to just look at the whiteboard, if we make, once we start from here, then we go and make a square, and then our turtle is sitting here, its nose is in this direction. Then to make the next square on top of this, we have to hop this distance, right? so that the so we have to hop from here to here, so that the turtle now comes here with the nose in this direction, and then if it does exactly the same thing, it will make the second square, right? So whatever is the size of this square, which is 100, we should hop 100. Okay, and then we are seeing something here. Let's forget about that for a moment. I will comment that out. So two forward slashes will comment out a line, so that will be ignored by Kojo. So now let us try this. Let us see what happens. Okay, and so now those 18 squares have been made. So let's do something. Let us set pen color to something. So what is the pen color here? Can somebody tell me the pen color of the lines that is being made?
Black.
Right, so that looks like a good guess. So let's make it black. Okay, we can do cm dot black also, but around 8 to 10 or 12 colors are even defined outside the color maker, so we can just say black without using the color maker.
Sir, actually, this red is filled in it, so it looks like it's just one big rectangle.
Right, but now that we've set pen color to black, now we will start to see, right? So now we have all of these squares showing up, but this is too big, these squares are too big. So let's use a size of like 20 or 30. So then what should
Sir,
I change? What should I change?
is 50 good?
I'm going to suggest 30. Okay, 30 might be a
Okay,
decent size.
so we can change the forward.
Okay, so we change the forward to 30, and then
Yes.
what? Anything
So
else
can
to
you-
change?
So can you run and check?
Yeah, I can run.
So and a hop to 30.
Right, the hops. And so wherever in our program there are two things that are tied together, it's always a great idea to put a val. So val size is equal to 30, and then I say forward size and then hop size, right? So that way I just have to change it in one place, right? So then with 30 it'll work. It'll also work with 50, and it'll work for any number we give it, right? so now that looks fine. Now what we have to do is change the colors like we see in the challenge. So there we are doing this particular thing. We are spinning the color. Okay, and I will tell you in a moment what that means, but let's first try running it, see what happens. So that seems to have done it, right? That seems to have done it, correct? So let's kind of think about what we mean by spinning the color. So what I will do is I'll press the control key and then click on red. Okay, and that will bring up this color chooser, and we see that there are these different models of defining colors within the computer. Okay, so within the computer, colors are just bunches of numbers, and the way you bring those numbers together, there are different like ways in which to bring the numbers together. So there's the RGB way, there is the HSV way, and there is the HSL way, and the color chooser uses the HSL way. And today we don't have too much time to go into that. But the level 1 book, if you see the Kojo level 1 book, that it is described in great detail in that book. For now, all I want to point out is that when you describe colors using the hue, the saturation, and the lightness, there is this thing called the hue that goes from 0 to 360. Okay, so when the hue is 0, so let's do something. Let's spend 2 minutes on this. We are at 8:02, so that's fine. So I will start a new Kojo scratchpad. So this is like a rough version of Kojo where we can play with ideas. So a rough Kojo is starting up. Let me get that here. So this is the scratchpad, right? It says up here Kojo scratchpad, and this was our regular Kojo. And you can start scratchpads by going to File and New Kojo scratchpad. Okay, so we just did that. We got the rough Kojo, and what I will do is clear. I will also make the font bigger, and I will say set fill color cm.red. Then I'll make a square, repeat 4 times, forward 100 and right 90. Okay, and then I will say set speed here super fast. Okay, so that makes a square that is red. Then I will do control and click on the red. So that brings up that same color chooser. Now what I was telling you was that this hue can go from 0 to 360. So when it is 0 it is red, and that is right at the bottom of this vertical strip, red is right at the bottom and it is 0. Then the next interesting point is 120. So if I make it 120, it comes to green. Okay, and if I make it 240, it becomes blue. So it starts from red at the bottom, then green is 120, blue is 240, then 360 is once again red. Because this is a circular model, so if I were to draw it in a circle, so the hue goes like this, the hue goes in a circle, and at 0 it is red, then at 120 is green, at 240 is blue. Okay, and then when you come back to 360, that is the same as 0 where it's red once again. Okay, fine. And then for example, if you want to go between red and green, which is yellow, then that would be 60 degrees, right? So because between 0 and 120 is 60, so if you want to go to an intermediate color, you just use that intermediate number. So 60 would be yellow, right? So when we start with red, what is the hue? Can somebody tell me? For the red color, what is the hue? Does anyone remember what I just told you?
So is it a 0?
Yes, so
It's
red,
no.
so red is 0,
Of course, it's
right? So here if we start with 0, we are at red, so we will go back to our program. So when we start with the color to be red, the hue is 0, and then when we spin the color by a certain amount, so n is 18, and so if we control C, I will put it here, and n was 18, right? So then I will select this thing and press shift enter. Okay, so then just that, so through shift enter you can do any calculation in Kojo. So 360 divided by 18 is 20. So when we say color is equal to color dot spin 20, that changes the hue by 20. Okay, so in this color chooser we started with red, which was 0. So then when we changed the hue by 20, the hue became a little bit on top, then by 20 again, and that way we kept going throughout our loop. And the full thing was 360, right? Because 20 times 18 is 360. So by the time we came to the end of the loop, we were right at the top. So that is why we start from red and go back to red at the top, because we cover the whole range of hues. Okay, so if you run this thing, we go start with a hue of 0 and then go all the way to 360, which is once again red. So we cover the whole range. Okay, and because this is circular, we could have started from blue also, right? We can start from blue and then all the way back to blue, right? So it doesn't matter where you start from. If you go 360 degrees from there, you will come back to the starting point. So is this idea kind of clear, or is this a little tough? What do you guys say? Did you understand the hue idea and how spinning the hue changes the color in a very controlled way?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I know we have limited time, so I'm going very fast over this, but hopefully you got some idea of what we were trying to attempt. So let me close the scratch pad, go back to the challenges. So we are done with this one. Are we done or not? Is there anything remaining?
No, sir.
Uh,
No,
But sir,
sir.
I have a question.
Beta, before the question, do the lines here look a little thinner than the lines here, or do they look the same size?
So they look slightly thicker.
Our lines look a little thicker, right?
Yes, sir.
So what can we do to change that?
So you said the line thickness,
Sir, line
set
thickness.
size.
So set pen thickness, right?
Yes.
And so by default it is 2, so let us try 1. So now is that better, or was the earlier one better?
So now it's better.
Okay, so that's that. So we're done with that. Yes, somebody had a question.
So my question was, is there a speed faster than super fast?
No, super fast is the fastest it can go.
Okay, sir, because it's becoming kind of slow for this code. So with the squares.
Right. So if you have hundreds of thousands of line segments, then it starts to add up, and then it becomes slower and slower. If you want to make drawings with, let us say below 50,000 segments, then the turtle is good. Then between 50,000 and maybe 500,000 line segments, pictures are good. And then beyond 500,000 to millions of line segments, then there's a canvas API also in Kojo. Then that is for really, really intricate figures. But till about 50,000 or so, turtle he'll start to slow down a little, but within 10-20 seconds you'll get a drawing out of him. Okay, so let's move on to the next challenge. Let's see, it's 8:10, so we have maybe 20 minutes or maybe 15 minutes to go. So let's go on to the next challenge. Now, do you guys want to continue or are you tired?
So I'm fine with whichever.
If you guys are starting to
So
get
can we
tired,
continue?
Yes, so let's continue.
okay, let's continue. And then maybe in 10 minutes anyway, our time is going to start running out. So let's go to the next one and let's copy the code over.
Mm.
Okay, backspace, Control V, Control Shift F. Okay, and let's also set the speed so that it's faster. So let's make it fast. So now here we see that we've defined a command which now takes an input. Okay, so we've defined a polygon command which takes one number as an input, and then based on whatever that number is, it repeats that many times to make a polygon. Okay, and then it has to turn right depending on what is n, so it divides 360 by n to determine the right amount to turn. So just to test it excuse me, test it out, let's try polygon 3. What would that make? Can anyone tell me? Polygon 3 would make what shape?
So we get a triangle.
Sir, maybe a triangle cause it will only have 3 lines.
Yes, so it's like that. Then polygon 4, what will it make?
It will make a square.
Very good. Then 5 is like a pentagon, which we tried. 6, what will it make?
Hexagon.
It will make a hexagon, right? So that way we can keep going. If we do 20, what is it going to make, do you think?
So a shape with 20 sides.
And what will it look very similar to?
You take a horse.
Sir, it will look similar to a circle.
That's a good thought. So, and we are going forward too much, but if we went less, if we went 2 maybe, or maybe 5, let's see. Yeah. So, we're starting to see that. Let's make it 40. So we're starting to make things that look like a circle, right? So beyond a certain point, the polygons start to look like a circle. Okay, so let's get back to 5 because that's where we started from, and this was 100. Okay, and now the challenge is to make this figure. So, and it says use repeat, and it says use random colors with fade out. So now you guys tell me what to do. You guys have seen a few of our things and it's a tough one, but I will wait for you to tell me what to do, and whatever you say I will type that in. So we don't want to make one polygon, we want to make more. So what should I do? Any thoughts?
Sir, I have an idea.
Yeah.
So we put it in a loop of 360 and we put the color fill code.
Okay, so we want to repeat. And how many polygons do we want to make?
So we need to make 360 polygons to complete the entire circle.
So here we see how many polygons are there. Does it look like 360 polygons or does it look less?
Sir, it's going.
So
I'm sorry, Beta.
it looks lesser.
So how many are there? What do you think?
So I'm not sure how we can count it.
How can we count it? Is there a good way to count it? It's a tough count. You know,
Sir, 17.
17.
Yes, sir.
So let's try to be very precise about this. So you see where these two lines intersect, right? It's a little darker, right? So let's go with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, right? We started from here, did we? Or
Sir,
did we start from here?
36.
So is it 18 or 17?
So that means it's 18.
We started from here, right? So it's 18, right? So yeah, let's go with 18. Let's see how it turns out. So let me go control minus to make it smaller. And so we have to make 18 polygons. So what should my repeat count be?
The repeat should be 18.
It should be then 18, right? So and let me scroll this to the right. Okay, so let me repeat 18 times. And we have to make polygons, right? So what should I say here? We just have to say
Polygon in brackets 5.
okay. And then we want to cover the whole circle, right? So then I should turn right by how much after making one polygon?
So then you should turn right by 18 divided by 360.
So 360 divided by 18, correct?
Yeah, yes, sir.
So 360 divided by 18, shift enter will give us the calculation is 20, right? Okay, so we say right 20. Okay, so at least the hey, maybe the shape is starting to look fine, right? Because if you look at the corners, they look rather similar, right? So maybe we have the shape right. Now what should we do to make it like the challenge?
Sir, you have to make the line color to black.
Okay, so set pen color. Okay, so we make it black. And what and okay, let's keep going. So anything else to do with the pen? Is the thickness of the lines right, or do we make it thicker, or what?
Sir, thickness of the pen should be like they could make it random.
What should be random? So
So the
first,
color fill. So the color fill.
right, but let's talk about the pen thickness first because we are working with that area. So pen thickness should be what?
Like
So 1.
It should be even less. Here, what does pen thickness look like? Does it look more or does it look less?
It looks proper.
So look
So
at the
this
thickness here. Look at the thickness here.
So the number 1
Sir,
is so
a bit big, somewhere about 3 or
more like
Sir, can we make it 0.5?
So if I make it 4, what does it look like? It's too dark, right?
yes, sir.
sir, make it 3. Can you
But
make it
what if I fade it out? What if I fade it out? So I fade it out by 0.7, let us say. Make it much lighter.
Yes, sir. Now it's
Maybe
Kind
fade it
of.
out by
now it's kind of gray.
Sir, I think the pen thickness should be 1.
Okay, if I make it 1.
Sir, I think it should be 3. Cause sir, this is kind of same.
Okay, so let's go with 3, okay? And let me make this dark gray. And then fade it out a little less. Okay, so we go with that. Now what about the fill color?
Sir, random
Sir
color.
could put it random color.
And where should I put it in the code?
So instead of the dark gray.
Right after polygon.
Right after polygon. Okay, so set fill color, random color, random color. Okay, so does that look fine or is there anything messed up?
Sir, it should be fade out.
Okay, that's good, that's great. So we
Yes,
fade
sir,
it out
fade out.
by let's say 0.5, make it half transparent. Does it look better?
Yes, sir.
So it's
Only the
almost
colors
there.
Yes,
are
sir.
okay.
It's almost there, but the first one is white. See, the first one is white. Why is it white? When I
So
run
make
this,
it, so put the entire code before polygon.
put what before polygon?
So the set fill color, put it below, before polygon, I mean.
Okay.
So just put
Okay,
it
so now
below.
even the first one is not white. Okay, and every time we run it, it's gonna be different because these are random colors, right? So I cannot
Yes.
exactly reproduce what is there. There's a way to reproduce that, but that's a different story. When you do generative art for printing, etc., then you want to reproduce what you made randomly. So there you use a random seed, but we won't go into that today. For now, we're just doing random and we can't reproduce. But we have a very similar figure to what we wanted to make, so we're good with that. So I think that's we're done with this challenge.
Sir, I got another idea on how to make the pattern even better.
Okay, what is the idea?
So just like last time, we put this into we make this into a nested loop,
Okay,
and then we make repeat it how many ever times. Like let's take an example of 5,
okay,
and uh, so yeah, we do that basically,
and then
and between both of them, we put like we basically put a move forward, a block, or anything which might make it.
okay, then I'll put a hop. Hop. How much?
So hop by 100, I guess.
Okay, let's try that, and let's make it super fast. So okay, and then maybe we can turn right a little bit. So just to get it in a circular pattern maybe. So how much should I turn right?
So turn right by 5 divided by 360, or if increase the value,
Right,
reduce
right.
it.
So for now let's just play with 10. So then we can do 36 there to make the full 360. So yeah, it's starting to go in a circle, right? Okay, so then let's see if we do 36. You think it's gonna become a full circle?
Yes, sir, it will.
Okay, so yeah, so we have this circular pattern now made
Yes,
out
sir, we
of.
got a donut.
I'm sorry.
So we have a donut.
Yeah, we have a donut. Yeah, we have a nice colorful donut. And it's even looking three
Sir, if
dimensional.
you want to make it a donut, then sir, you can make the color to brown or something.
Yes, we
Uh,
can. We can. So if you want the whole thing to be brown, let's try that. So Control
Or
Shift.
else I have an even better idea.
What is that?
So I'll make this another nested loop. And
Okay.
then we have many donuts right next to each other, and that makes a core even cooler.
Okay, that's a good thought. So I will leave you to that thought. Here, let's just make it brown for a moment, and then we can change the brown, right? We can Control plus click. We can decide what kind of brown do we want. So and we can even go this way. So the hue is okay. So if we want that way, I'm not sure where the good browns are. So
Sir, isn't it coming like there are some holes like there?
right, beta. Excuse me. So that is just because of the way the our polygons are structured, right? And this is too dark, right? So I mean, I didn't quite mean to do that. So here we can change the lightness, make it much lighter. But the idea being that you can use the color chooser. You want to make it lighter, you can make it like 60. It'll become much lighter. But then it's gone into a different zone. So anyway, you can play with the colors like that. Okay, so I think we are at 8:20. So I will leave you with this challenge because this is something that you can make as a desktop wallpaper. Okay, so the idea here is you make this image and then you export it out of Kojo and you make it a wallpaper for your computer for at least one day. If you really like it, keep it for longer, but for at least one day you have a wallpaper out of something that you made in Kojo. And
Sir, I made the code.
okay, that's
Can
great.
you make it again? So
What
like it's a donut made out of donuts.
what beta?
So it's a donut made out of
I see.
donuts.
Okay, with the previous idea, the self exploration you were doing, so that's great. At some point maybe we can have a WhatsApp group where people can share stuff and all of that. But for now, I want to leave you with the thought that okay, keep doing your self exploration, but then also look at this last challenge before we finish for the day. And here the challenge is to make the thing that's on the screen and then make it your desktop wallpaper for at least a day. Okay, and to
Okay.
do that it's telling you that use set background H. Okay, so if I now make my Kojo bigger, and go. Let's go back to where we were with repeat 18, right? So set fill color, and that was the kind of thing. Okay, so now in this case, if you notice, the thickness is much less. So I will not make the whole thing for you, but I will just show you the way. So make the thickness less, make the pen color, it's light bluish pen color. And then the important thing is set background H. So after the clear, do a set background H for horizontal, and it seems to go from blue to purple, right? So if the first color you say blue, and second color you say purple. Okay, so then you have a gradient going from blue to purple, and
Okay.
here you maybe want it thinner because you want the same aspect ratio as your desktop. So what you can do actually is you can say size on top. So you say size, and then 1920 is regular, is the regular resolution these days. So I will say 1920 by 2, so that we even see our script editor here, and 1024 by 2. Okay, so now the drawing canvas is in the same aspect ratio, the same proportions as your desktop. Okay, and then let me just set the pen color to light blue or something. So cm dot light blue. Okay, light blue. Okay, so now the color is starting to get maybe similar, and the starting hue. Okay, now we want that idea with where color, the idea that we had seen, right? So cm dot red, and then the fill color is CLR, whatever color we specify, and then we spin the color, right? We say color is equal to color dot spin, like we done earlier, right? Through the same amount, so that it goes the full circle. Okay, and then of course we want to fade it out, right? Fade out by, let us say, 0.7. Okay, so now the given hues maybe are starting to appear. This is too big, so we can make it smaller. Instead of forward 100 for the polygon, we can make forward 70 maybe. Okay, so that's starting to get close to where we want it. This is in this, this pattern is in the center of the screen, and to take it to the right, you can do a turn a right after clear, or first set the background and speed, etc., and then before doing anything here, you turn right by 90 degrees, then you hop however much you want to hop. So let's say hop 200, and then you turn a left, and so then it shifts to the right, just like it's here. And this this blue is not quite right, we want a darker blue. So maybe we can use the color maker and say dark blue. Let's see, dark blue. So that's maybe better, right? So from dark blue to purple it's going, and this is too bright here compared to what is there on the challenge, so we can fade the light blue out. So fade out by 0.5. Let's try. So maybe that's getting close to. So if I do that and run it again, so we're starting to get close to what we want, and the turtle is still there, so we can make it invisible. So after the clear, or right at the end, you say invisible. That will hide the turtle. Okay, so we are almost there, I think, with our idea for the wallpaper. Okay, so now what you have to do is, I'm going through this very fast, right? So what you have to do now is go to File, Settings, Export, and the height has to be 1024 so that it's not distorted and it's nice resolution and all of that. So make the DPI 1024 and say that it's 1 inch, so that the exported image is 1024 pixels in height, and just say OK for that, and then right click and say export as image, and then we will put it in Scratch. We'll say wall 1, for example. Save it, open up file manager, go into that directory where I saved it, go into Scratch and wall1.png. so that's our wallpaper, And what are the dimensions? So it's very big actually, it's too big. What happened? So let's go back to Kojo file. So here, let's run it one more time. Okay, that's better because we had resized Kojo, so it was, the canvas resized. So let's export it one more time, export as image, and go to save it as wall 1. Go back here, look at wall 1, and there is the size is 1920 by 1024, which is exactly what you want. So then if you make this, so let's try that here. I don't know if that's gonna work here or not, but let's try that. So if I just minimize everything, I have two screens, and let's see. So mm, my computer didn't like that too much. So if I right click, can you guys see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so folder, work, and then we put an image there, right? Oh, we went into Scratch, other. So we go into work, Scratch, and wall1.png. It doesn't like that for some reason. It's got to do with me having two screens, and the way that Linux is a little finicky about two screens. For you, I'm very hopeful that it's going to work out. So wallpaper for monitor 1, it's saying, right? So okay, don't apply to all workspaces. I'm going to try one more time. So we will go into Scratch again. Okay, other, Scratch. For some reason it doesn't want it. That's fine. What you have to do is on your Windows or Linux box, whatever, just right click and go into your desktop settings, and this image that you saved, make that the wallpaper, and then at least for a day keep it there. Okay, let me get this back here. Okay, right. Okay, so I think that's the end of what we wanted to do as kind of phase 1 of this thing, in the sense that that is the drawing part. After that some games start, and that's a little more complex anyway, and that was going to take way more time. So I think we've reached a good point, and I encourage you to make the wallpaper and then put it on your
Sir?
desktops and then have fun with that. Yes,
So can I just share my screen? I want to show something.
absolutely. Yeah, so let me stop my screen sharing.
Yes. So like here. So can you see my screen?
It's coming up. Oh wow. Okay. Now, okay, and you even have the dark color going on, right? So that's for the more serious programmers. So that's great. Okay, using the dark theme in Kojo, which is very nice. This is a very interesting design.
It's supposed to finish the entire circle. It's barely crossed halfway. It's been running for a long time.
I see. Okay, okay. I hope
So
you're not tracing it.
yes, so basically that pentagon is there, right, sir? So and then with that pentagon, I made that donut out of pentagons. Then
Right,
I made a donut out of donuts,
right.
and then um, I made all the donut out of donuts run 18 times into a loop like this. So
Okay,
it's
okay.
a pattern, but it's
So
still
that
running. Because
that
it's long
repeat
donut.
36 is one donut, right?
Wait, so see, repeat 18, that's the giant ring. Then repeat 36, that's a donut of a donut.
Oh
Then
no.
the repeat
So
36.
repeat 36 is one donut, right? So repeat 18 is that ring, and then repeat 36 is the donut. Is that right?
No, so 36 is a donut made out of donuts.
Or is it a donut made out of rings?
So like a donut made out of donuts is this 36. Then this 36 is the original donut. Then this 18 is a circle made out of pentagons.
Okay. Oh, you have two repeat 36. Okay, right, right. So the inner repeat 36 is the donut. Then you have those 36 of those donuts, and then you have. Okay, wow. I mean, this is like crazily intricate. it might take some time. I hope you're not tracing it. You must not be, because then tracing would just kill it. Okay, and then you have set speed to super fast, which is good. So yeah, it'll take time, but hopefully it'll get there. If it gets too slow, then you just hit stop, and then that's that. Okay, good, very good self exploration on that front. Good job, beta.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so any other questions before we break for today?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, did you guys enjoy the session?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, a lot.
Okay, that's very nice to hear. So I think that's the end of the thing for today. So Sai, any comments from you? Any feedback from you?
Sir, very
Saish.
Yeah, it's amazing. The amount of the kids could play with it. It's amazing.
Okay,
I guess
good.
more than me.
Is something.
Yes, I mean, even for me, it was very enjoyable and amazing to a certain extent. In fact, amazing to a large extent, because with the first session, I've not seen kids go, that far by a long way. So this was very impressive challenge performance by the kids.
No, these kids have been doing it for a long time now. Scratch, almost 2 3 years.
I see. Okay, so
They build their own games. So I guess I don't know if you have time and if you could show at least a game sometimes whenever you're free.
sure, absolutely. Let's set that up. Do we have a new guest who's joined?
Yeah, I don't know why he joined so late. Yeah, I think they were trying to install the program and
I see. Okay. Okay, so well, so Dexter, you're like here just to say farewell and goodbye. Uh, but I did record the thing, so I can make the recording available, and you can circulate it if you want, so
yeah,
that people like Dexter can catch up and see what happened.
yeah, that would be great, I guess.
Sir, I just found out something.
What, Sai Pranav?
So the reason the code was going so slow because it was tracing.
Oh, yeah, with tracing, that would totally kill it, right? So yeah, get rid of tracing, and then
So now I restarted without tracing and it's nearly already done halfway.
okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah, tracing goes way slower, so you can't really trace the larger programs.
Yes, with tracing, super fast becomes like normal to fast speed.
Right. So this is very good. The uptake by the children is amazing, and I'm very happy to see how they've taken to first understanding the ideas and then doing their own exploration with it. Very good to see.
If you have some kind of exercises, you can share it with them, and I think they would do it. If you have some kind of stuff, it would
So
be
you guys are not seeing my screen right now, right? So let me just present and show you potential next steps. So let me kind of share my screen and bring up a browser tab there. So let's see, that's the Meet tab. Okay, let me just open a new tab here and get this one over. So children, if you go to just kojo.in, for example, and then click on start learning, and then the first module, if you go into that and pick up the first book, okay, Explorations with Kojo Level 1 PDF. The current version is the February 17 version. These days I'm tweaking it slightly, so maybe the dates might keep changing, but that's the current version. And if you click on that, so this is of course a much slower journey through the whole thing, but then going much deeper into things. So then if you go through this book, then it's step by step you go through all the basic features of Kojo, including the colors that we talked about today with the color maker. So if you go into chapter 7, then it's going to describe in detail what's the color maker and how you can mix colors, and then what is the hue, what is the saturation, what is the lightness, then how you can take a pure color and make a tint of it or a tone of it or a shade of it and things like that. And then here every chapter has an exercise at the end, and yeah, you might find a lot of these to be relatively simple to begin with, but by the end they start to get more more and more complex. So this might be a good next step, going through this book. And once you're done with that, then you can go to the gaming module, which is the second module, and then uh, start going through the lessons here with the gaming stuff. But but by the time you get to the end of the first book, you just let me know and I will introduce you to gaming, so that going to the second module will be much simpler for you.
Kids, I've shared that book link in the chat. You can take it from there and download this lesson plans. And now you can tell me if you guys do this, when do you want sir to take another session for you? Maybe next week? Should be fine to complete all this? Venkatesh?
Fine with tomorrow also.
So beta, if you want to go through the book, that you will not be able to do in a week. That might take 2-3 months actually, depending on how much time you spend on it. And if you spend 45 minutes on it every day, it might take, it's like got 100 pages or so or something like that. So going through this book might take at least a couple of months, I would say, even if you go fast. So what I would suggest is start going through it, and then depending on how things are playing out, Saish, feel free to just sync with me, and we can set up a session any week. That's not a problem.
Sure. Okay. Sure. What about Avnish? Avnish, how did you feel? Are you comfortable with this or it's too fast for you?
No, sir, I'm comfortable.
Comfortable? Okay. Arnav is good. Venkatesh seems good. Shaunak, is it fine?
Yes, sir, it's fine
Good.
for me.
Sir, and thanks from my side also. Please, would you like to say thanks to him?
Now, it's my pleasure. It's been a good fun interacting with the kids. So yeah, thanks from me also.
Something.
What, beta?
Thank you, sir. It was new and very interesting for me.
Okay, great. You're very welcome.
So now my code is like a 6/10 done.
Okay, so that's great to see. Sai Pranav is, he's not bothering about the pleasantries. He's like, experimenting and hacking away and making new things. So that's great. That's great to see. Okay, so should we end the
Okay.
session?
Yes. So thanks of you. Thanks of you. It's almost dinner time, and we just missed out Dexter. I think we could request him to join the next time that we have a session. And once Lalit sir shares me the video, I will share it with you. I think they're from UK, so they had this time zone issue,
I
so
see.
we missed
Okay.
out on them.
I see. Okay.
But I was not aware that they were joining from UK.
I see. Okay. No worries. No worries. I will share the video and then we can arrange things appropriately later on.
We'll do that. Okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Okay. Bye bye, everyone.
Good
Thanks,
night.
sir.
Good night.
Good night. Bye.